Hello and welcome to the Business Continues podcast. My name is Connor Sandberg, and today we're hoping to put the doom and gloom away and focus on some of the positives within our lives and businesses. Today I am joined by Dawn, Phoebe, Jack, Tom and Frazer, and thank you all for joining me. Today's topic is thriving through adversity. But before we start, it would be great to hear a little from each of you, who you are, what you do, and in an old networking cliche, let's get to know each other a bit better by telling us the album that you first bought. So we'll start with yourself, Frazer, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm Frazer from All Things Business. I'm the content and media manager for Northamptonshire. So that means I have to fill that magazine every month. The first album I bought, I believe, was the Out Here Brothers, and I believe the album was called Party. I know that because I had to search it a minute ago. But yeah, Tom knows.
The Out
Here Brothers. You probably weren't born, Connor.
No, cracking. Thank you very much for that. We'll go to Phoebe.
Hello, I'm Phebe Mason. I work with Ashley Riley Communications, and my job role predominantly is to work on marketing for our range of clients and also creative services. So that's photography and video for a whole host of different clients. Can't remember my first album, but the first two singles I bought at the same time was Cartoon Heroes by Aqua and Ooh Stick You, Your Mama Too and Your Daddy by Daphne and Celeste. And it was the time when you could get music videos on the disc as well. So I thought I'll hit the big time. So yeah, those are my two.
We'll go to Jack because I haven't known any of the music said so far, and I feel like I've got the best chance.
You might know mine. So I'm Jack. Work for BHIB Insurance Brokers. I do the business development side of things. So any way of making sure people know who BHIB are, what we do, and how we can help. First, I don't know an album. I know the first single I bought was JCB by Nizloppy.
Nice.
You might know that. Yeah, great song.
Cool. Go to Dawn.
Hi, Pegasus Lift Up Training, and we obviously do all sorts of forklift training, any sort of types of equipment on logistics sites, which is a bit of a challenge at the moment with cancellations, and then we can't fit enough people in, and then I haven't got any trainers because they're all isolating, so it's juggling a little bit at the minute. Albums, I haven't got a clue. Can't remember. I remember my brother's first one I ever remember was Hair, which is I don't even know who it was, with pictures of all the hair. There was a show. Is it Deep Purple? No, it wasn't Deep Purple. Somebody, I don't know. So mine probably would have been something like Gladys Knight or Midnight Train to Georgia or one of that type of era, I think. Diana Ross, that I remember.
I know who Diana Ross is. Cool. And Tom?
So I set up Track, which is to support autistic people into work. Training consultancy side, I've got plenty of availability. Haven't seen the diary go last week. And we've also got Cafe Track in Northampton Market Square that people can come and train up and develop some employability skills. First album was Green Day Dookie. That was the first full-length album I bought for myself.
Brilliant. Before we crack on, chaps, question for you. Have we decided, are we growing or are we shaving?
It's so interesting. I thought about that this morning. There's the skin fade society. You're going to struggle. The side of your head is never going to have been so warm.
I mean, I've got to think about it as well, you know.
True.
Yeah.
And Tom?
I'm thinking that's what I'm sticking to. Just grow out the blue.
Yeah, I'm leaving mine alone.
Cracking. So as we jump into our topic, which we mentioned earlier, is thriving through adversity. Just to give a bit of kind of context to that, for those of you who recall the distant and now somewhat missed memories of Brexit, you'll recall it was often mentioned there was a lot of uncertainty around what was going to happen to business and people didn't quite know where we were going. I'm not a business owner, but what I actually saw was business as usual, and still saw a lot of stories about business growth and business excellence whilst there was all of this murmurs of so having just come through that period and now unfortunately facing probably slightly more concerning uncertainty, I just wanted to know what you as individuals and your businesses, what ways you're attacking this and what different ways of working you're going about, and ultimately how we hope to see ourselves through this period and come out stronger on the other side. Is there anyone that wants to take this topic first?
I'll jump in first. We're going to print tomorrow for April, so the last week has been sorting everything out, getting it in and going from there. The biggest concern for us will be May, because if people are panicking now, what are they going to be doing in 4 weeks when we go to print there? But on the positive side of that, we're going through the initial panic now, and I believe in a couple of weeks' time there should be a little bit more clarity for what we're doing. We've taken a backward step. We're not on the phone. We're not hounding anyone. We're not ringing the business. We're not checking with people, because people don't know what they're doing. We don't know where the ground lays. So we call it farming. We're researching companies. We're looking at our feature list for the remainder of the year and just building that we're planting seeds, letting them grow, and then we'll hopefully enjoy that harvest in a couple of months when this is all settled down. Because it's difficult. Any conversation you have with people is going to get automatically swallowed up with COVID-19, coronavirus, isolation, everything else like that. But because so much information out there at the moment, we need to digest it. And once people have digested it, they're able to make sensible decisions on what they need to do, I think. And plus, with photography, videos, content, getting into businesses to see them, they're locked down. You can't get in anyway.
You guys have been doing some quite good stuff around the online side of things, and stuff like this, probably on a slightly larger scale, and making sure people still have a business community to go to, and I think that's been brilliant.
Yeah, for us, we're people are sort of looking to us to be an outlet for what other people are doing, how people are coping with it. The good news, that's what we need to do as a society. We struggle to tell people good news. We can tell people bad news till the cows come home. But if we can breed positivity and keep everybody together, and hopefully when the pub opens again on Thursday, it will be big enough to cope with everyone that wants to come in. But that's what we want to do. Keep everybody together and just good stories. That's what we want. Good news, and spread it in positivity.
That's brilliant. Disappeared temporarily, but here he's coming back. Phoebe, you're in a similar space where obviously with what I see of what you do with some of your customers, Trilogy being one, you press out all of the good news stories that they've got to have and market them in that manner. I saw that there was some stuff you were doing which was business as usual with them, but how has it affected yourselves, and what good stuff are you doing to try and push through?
I mean, for us, it's kind of twofold, because for us as a business, we're operating a bit differently now. We're both working from home. People that don't know it, it's just Ashley and I in the business. That is communicating, one with each other and two with our clients. So we're quite good in terms of like being a well-oiled machine in that sense. But for us, it's just, and as I'm sure it is for most businesses, it's a day-by-day thing, particularly for our clients, because if it affects our clients, it's probably going to have a knock-on effect on us, which I'm sure everyone feels that. So for us, it's about getting even more creative and offering different solutions to our clients. So from a communications point of view, obviously we're in touch with all of our clients every day, making sure what their stance is on their working situations and their supply chain and things like that, and making sure we communicate that out properly online or with the customers. Well, as you know, all leisure trusts, etc., are closed now. What we managed to do with Trilogy before the closure last week, we kind of preempted this stuff going on with their marketing team, and we got in and we filmed with some of their personal trainers a few different workouts for them to kind of release slowly as the weeks go on. And they're also doing Facebook Lives with all their instructors, and they're just doing them from home, which is great. So we're working really closely with them on kind of still instilling that message of stay fit, stay healthy, feel good, their members in a way that can work for them. So that's one of the things that we're doing that's working really well. We're also putting together some training videos at the moment, which we filmed last week. So my week at the moment is madly just kind of editing lots of things at the moment. but it's good. I think it's good to be busy though. It kind of distracts you from thinking about all the rubbish that's on the media and stuff at the moment. So, and to be honest, really admiring the kind of keep them staying positive.
Someone's confidence to join in the conversation. You as a business as well, you're already quite present in the online world because you do the weekly videos, don't you, where actually there's an update. So is there a focus on driving that more, or will it just be business as usual?
In terms of the regularity, they will still be every week. Just the way that we do them will be slightly different. I think there is going to be more of a rise in kind of videos from your phone as opposed to kind of going out and having a set and lights and stuff like that, because the same as Frazer said, you can't see people at the moment, so actually getting face to face and in the same location is quite hard. So it's like at Riley's, we've got a couple in the can, but from there on in, what will happen is he will film them on his phone and then he will send it all to me, and then I will kind of edit it a little bit there, and we're able to do that with a lot of our clients as well. If they want to share top tips or any video content, they're more than welcome to send it over, and I can kind of glam it up a little bit for them. So you can kind of make it not as professional as what you would have with the whole suite, but a little bit more professional than just doing something straight from your phone.
No, I get you. And from 2 people to, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, 200 plus people. How are BHIB gearing up the staff for obviously the next few weeks?
Well, obviously, I think, originally, obviously, at the time, we were wanting to have that split of work from home and obviously people in the office. Now that's changed from yesterday. So obviously we've got everyone working from home, and all people working on one system for a start is difficult. It's sort of bringing in a lot of issues. But as a company, in terms of where we're having to go and what we're having over probably the past few weeks, months and stuff, has been very difficult, because it's not obviously something anybody anticipated, and everyone's being bombarded with COVID-19 questions that for a point we can't answer everything. So it has become very, very difficult in that way. We are starting to cope a lot more. Underwriters are starting to bring out more and more information on how we can help. But for us at the moment, it's just a case of making sure our clients are in the know as best as we can, making sure they're comfortable, making sure that they're not making rash decisions and jumping the gun and just closing their doors or firing stuff, whatever it be, following rules, and just making sure, as I say, that people just listen, calm themselves down and do as they sort of can to get through what we are and where we are really at the end of the day. It's a difficult one. Obviously for me in my role, it's again completely separate, with obviously doing the business development, a little bit like you, Frazer, where obviously my role is to go out and get people in. That's sort of a little bit on the back burner, because it's going to be a very low priority for other businesses to start talking about that now, and also for us when we want to focus on clientele instead of probably new business. So it's a difficult situation for both the business and then obviously for myself, but you just got to do what you can, maintain, figure out, and for me especially figuring out for what the next couple of months hold, and then when this passes, being able to say, right, let's get back on it and what we can do and what we can utilize for there. It is a difficult situation for everybody, of course it is, but we just have to try and cope as best we can and sort of, smile the days through, I think is the best way to put it really. But yeah, as a company, we're doing all we can, helping as many people as we can, and just there for any information that we can give out. But what people are starting to understand is we know as much as most at the end of the day. It's not expected. What can we really, tell you when we don't know ourselves?
I suppose the challenges in an industry like insurance, what Frazer and Phebe have talked about is helping customers highlight the good and really pushing those positives. In an industry at the moment like insurance, I'd imagine there's a lot of panic and a lot of concern, and reassurance. So I suppose there's a hard job there for you to reassure people, and like you said, especially in the uncertainty, not knowing what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, no, exactly. It is difficult. It really is, and it's difficult for our staff as well to make sure that the guys in the office as well are going to stay calm and be able to have that calming manner to speak to other people at the same time. Because as much, we're in the same boat. We're still a business. We're a big business, yeah, and we can survive for a period of time. But there's always uncertainties, and there are people in our office who are going to worry as much as the next person. So being able to make sure they know what they're doing and calm them down to pass on the message is quite crucial at the moment as well, to be fair.
Cool, cracking. And moving forward to Tom. So Tom, we've seen quite a bit. I've shared it on my LinkedIn so far around what you're doing as a small social enterprise. But to obviously serve as an introduction to those that are watching this and might not have heard about it, what have you been doing as a business as a cafe and hospitality to keep business as usual where possible?
Yeah, so I mean, last week was incredibly tough because we kept the cafe open primarily just for the people that our team members, because we've got a lot of people for whom we're the only point really of communication. They're very, very socially isolated. Forget about how we're feeling at the minute. They feel like this all year round because the only kind of time they get to come and spend is the time they come to train in the cafe. So, my heart was telling me to close the cafe. My head was telling me, actually, we need to look after and support these people in a way, which was tough. So what we actually did was we launched a Buy Me a Coffee online. It's a site that's usually used by bloggers and creative individuals. And the way we did that was we said to people that you could buy a virtual coffee. So you don't actually physically get any coffee. There's no changing hands. There's no touching coffee cups or anything anymore. So what I'll do after this, I'll go and buy you all a coffee on the website. And I know Ben and the team at All Things Business have been amazing with supporting that as well. And it's just a case of, obviously, from a coffee shop point of view, that income's just gone. It's wiped off. There are no sales. People will talk about takeaways and things, but I don't think we've really got the option. So we've had to go virtual. And again, there is a kind of very much ups and downs from day to day. And, the focus today is on very much making sure when someone says go again, we're ready to go on the G of go, basically, with, things we can do. Obviously, there's going to have to be some incredibly tough decisions. I'm a teacher by background. I'm not a business person as such. I love people. I love working with individuals. I've spent the last 27 hours when I wasn't rushing to pick my son up from university, kind of, going through and reading government manuals, which as helpful as they are, I wish they just used like straightforward language. I was like, I didn't even know what is it furrowed. What I didn't even know what that meant. Kind of. Furloughed. Yes, I still don't know what it means. I thought it was something to do with rabbits, but then I realised that was burrowed. So, but yeah, it's kind of it's really tough because last week there were lots of announcements, and it's kind of why hasn't everyone got the answers? And like you said, Jack, there aren't any answers. It's kind of here's where we're at. Here's what we're going to do in principle, and now we've got to try and come up with the reasons behind it. And it's like today, from our point of view, we're a social enterprise, so we're set up, so we're not technically self-employed. We are an enterprise. You mentioned about Brexit. We obviously have a lot of corporate partners that work with us and make various different donations. And for some, in just before the kind of decision seemed to be made, a lot of companies would say, well, look, once this is sorted, we'll look to kind of support financially because we need to get some continuity. So February I was thinking, yes, come on, there's lots of people in the firing line here. And then all of a sudden last week it was kind of I had the 10-minute feel sorry for myself on Friday night because every train we do training in schools. I've tried to diversify, and everything we've diversified has been hit. But the thing is, everyone is in the same boat. We're all trying to share positivity. There's that danger of like over pushing things online. Frazer, I think you made that point really well. It's kind of what do you do at the minute? Because actually, if I sit down and don't do anything and don't try and generate some income, we're gone. And that's not being negative. But at the same point, you recognise that everyone's in a similar boat. And I think this has got to be unique because it's not just the smaller businesses struggling or the banks, or it's everyone. ACS have been brilliant with us in terms of opportunities for work experience. I've got people who are now massively socially stuck. And kind of we all are, but I've got people for whom they need that face-to-face contact. We need to get them out of the house, and trying to explain to them this is hard because as a neurotypical person, I can't get my head around it at the minute. It's still at that, at that stage of every day you just wake up and aren't quite sure what to expect.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Now, you mentioned it briefly there, and I've had this conversation several times in and out of work. The fact we're all in the same boat, I know that there aren't answers for it, but we're all here. We're all going to have some struggles with it. And that's why we need to do stuff like this, in my opinion, to make sure that people feel like they've got that support around them. It's very easy to get, I found I live on my own and I'm working from home. So I think it's very easy to get soaked up in your own thoughts and think, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? You need that reaffirmation that it's happening to everyone. And that you've got those people that you can speak to. I think one thing that's worth highlighting, Tom, is at the weekend from your cobbler's role, and it sounds like that went quite well. If you want to give that a little shout out.
Yeah, so basically, I host the hospitality at the Cobblers. So if you come for a VIP hospitality at the Northampton Town Football Club, you get me and the Cobblers playing football. So, how we sell that one, I'm not entirely sure. But we have a bit of a giggle in there. And basically, one of the things we've built up over the years is we play a game called Stand-Up Bingo. And you buy a bingo ticket, you stand up, and then if I call out your number, you have to sit down, you're out the game. So we've played it at every home game for the last 11 years. We've played it with 500 people at the end of season dinner. So it's become a little bit of a celebrity in its own right, the stand-up bingo. So had a few people message me that were like, Tom, we need to do something just to make people smile. I needed something to make me smile. So we played stand-up bingo online. And there were a few potential flaws in it, in that normally when you stood in a room with 500 people, you can see who's standing up and who's not. On Facebook Live or any video call, it's quite hard. But actually we had 120 people playing on Saturday. And we did the same thing, that people could buy the virtual coffee, leave their numbers on there, and then we just played live. So we're looking at ways of doing that, whether it's just on a social level, whether it's on a business level. It's designed to be light-hearted fun. We have a giggle along the way. It's like a 10-minute stand-up slot for myself almost. But what's been really, really nice is I've been going kind of live on Facebook, trying to plug it quite a lot. The Cobblers are massively supportive. They are great. And they're kind of tweeting everything out. I suppose it helps. They need content at the moment. They can't interview. What do you think of the game on Saturday? I'm waiting for them to start replaying old seasons. But yeah, it was really nice. There was a lot of people messaged afterwards. It raised valuable funds, but it also just raised a few smiles, really, mate, which was the kind of key thing behind it.
Good. Cracking. And
Tom, if we can try and help, sorry, Connor, if you can get something for us, we'll put it out on social for you as well. If we can get even more people. I've got a table at the weekend at the Cobblers, but I won't be sitting at it. So
you can't come and play bingo anyway.
I've got it, haven't I? Got it.
Brilliant. And so, Dawn, you mentioned when you were kind of introducing yourself in the business there that you're struggling in terms of people isolating and how it's affecting your industry. I suppose from a business leadership point of view, what are your plans to try and turn this around and look for positives in the situation? What's been discussed so far?
I think when it all started to sort of go a bit wrong, more and more phone calls on training that we had were being cancelled weeks at a time and things. So where trainers, it started to get a bit more difficult because obviously the work wasn't there. But I had two trainers that decided they wanted to isolate anyway. It would work for them, but they chose to do that. With two trainers. There's obviously other trainers we work with within other companies, and we try and collaborate and things when we need to. But so we didn't know which candidate was going down. But then we started to get calls from people that said, "Are you still training? Can we have some training?" And then there was one logistics company that just said, "I need 5 weeks training. Can you put it in for me?" And I thought, well, I can't believe our luck here type thing, but that's not going to happen for long. So we started that. Then bit by bit, it's actually in high risk category. So he was out training, and then only this morning he phoned and he said, "I don't think I can be here. There's like 100+ people in a warehouse. That's very risky for him." So we've had to make that decision to come off site, and we've actually cancelled the rest of the training we had booked in because it's got with health-wise. We've got the 90, 92-year-olds at the moment, Sorry?
We're losing you a little bit on the microphone there. If you want to readjust it slightly, I don't know whether it's the connection or not.
Is it mine?
Yes, yeah, it just went a little bit broken up there. I'm not too sure, but carry on. Sorry, carry on.
So we've done that. I've obviously keeping in touch with people and seeing if there's other people that can help us out to do that. And then we were contacted yesterday by NHS Supplies to do training. So it's a really, some people are feeling guilty because we ought to be doing that for them. But then on the other hand, it's still putting our trainers at risk by going in. So I've been speaking to them this morning to see if we can do some things online and how we can support them and do that way. They've got in-house trainers as well. So I'm not sure what's wrong with this thing.
It's interesting for yourselves because I mean, not to be too presumptive, but out of most of the people in here, your industry, correct me if I'm wrong, is not the most aligned to the technology changes that have been brought on by this. I suppose that in itself has presented some new challenges for you. I've seen that you've been posting on LinkedIn offering out some free advice where you can as well, which is really good. And have you had any take up around that kind of stuff as well?
Not really, because a lot of the companies have just closed and working from home. There's obviously the ones that have got a panic on, and it's just all hands to the board and doing that.
Yeah.
So it's just how the best way to move forward.
Yes.
We're trying to support. Obviously, we'll keep in touch with everybody. Everyone understands. So just doing that really. But I think it's very important that we stay and do things like this, keeping, sorry if that is me, because I've no reason. I don't know why.
No, it's all right. It's not a problem at all. I just think the connection can be a bit patchy on this because
a little bit like what mine was earlier.
the whole of the UK has decided. I did mention as well that I'd like to do, if anyone in the room right now has any questions, concerns, advice they want to ask, or open up. Is there anyone that wants to throw anything out there? Don't all raise your hands at once.
I guess my question is probably, Frazer, if you used to working from home more, sort of video calling software. I've been doing everything from Teams to Zoom to this. Are there particular kind of strategies of making it work or not, mate?
Whichever one that works for you, mate. I generally FaceTime everyone off my laptop. Pop in the number. If it goes green, you can video call it off your Mac. But failing that, video calls on WhatsApp. You can add, I think it's up to 4 or 6 people in a WhatsApp video call. So just work on that. The only thing we're working from home is if you're not used to it, is make sure you get up and have a walk. Don't just sit by your laptop all day waiting for it to ping or something to happen. Go do whatever you need to do. Walk around the garden, do some push-ups, eat a bag of crisps, whatever. Just keep do an hour break for 15 minutes. Do an hour break for 15 minutes, because if not, you'll go stir crazy.
Yeah. Another app that I found really good is called House Party, and you can have it as a browser or you can have it on your phone as well. And I don't know what the limit is to how many people you can have on it, but I think socially in particular, it's really good. So instead of me and all my mates getting together, we have like a virtual kind of night in on Saturday night. You can do it from your phone, or like I hooked it up to my laptop and then like got a HDMI cable and put it into the telly. So it's almost like I was sat in my lounge with those people.
That's a good idea.
And it's a really good bit of software. It's free. You just need to set up an account, which is free. And one of us streamed like an online game, and we all kind of logged into it at the same time. So good.
Oh, cool.
Business one, it's fine as well.
I got a really good bit of advice the other day because I was struggling with the routine element of it, because I've always worked from home. I've worked from the office, sorry. I've never worked from home. Bit of advice I got from Scott Jones at 123 Internet was make sure you leave the house for at least 5 minutes, and then when you start work, walk back through the front door, because then at least it feels like you're walking into work rather than just bed. to dining table to desk, which actually really helped. I thought that was a really useful bit of advice. So no, that's brilliant, and thank you for the question, Tom. I think I said I'd do one little thing to close this off. Bit of a quiz style, a tiebreaker style. In terms of the fact that we can't have in-person contact, the prize is the promise of a high five from me when all of this blows over, and you have video proof. Good. Question for today to you is: how many meters high is Mount Snowdon? Please write your answers.
Let me get my pad now.
Jesus Christ.
I'll give you a clue.
It's a lot.
It's more than 10 meters. Right, do we have our answers or our guesses?
Right, so I've gone more than 10, so I went for 11, and then 100,000 people in a queue on a busy day.
Okay, good. Dawn, what did you go for?
I thought it was meters high.
Meters high, yeah, meters high.
3,900.
How many was that, sorry?
3,900.
Okay, Frazer?
278.
278. Go on, Phoebe.
That's 2 million.
Okay, that's extreme.
That's quite high. That is.
Jack?
4,343.
Okay.
Very specific.
Fraser, what was your answer again?
278.
Somehow, unless my maths has escaped me, you are the closest, as it's 1,085.
I'll take that.
I thought we'd get slightly closer, but Fraser, well done. I assure you that when I see you at a networking event, once all of this is passed over, you can have the highest of fives from me. I just wanted to say thank you all for joining us on this one. Barring some technical difficulties, it's been really good to see everyone have a chat and kind of understand how people are getting through this a bit. Going to be doing one next week as well on customer communication and what works for people's businesses and their most effective ways of communicating with customers. Before and during Corona, I appreciate there's going to be some differences in that, so that will throw up some interesting points. And we'll have some new guests on that one. Once a week when we're doing this, I think we can kind of throw out a good cause that people should be keeping their eyes out for. You might have met Laura Graham, who does networking in Northampton for Age UK Northamptonshire, and they've got a campaign at the moment which they're doing a bit of fundraising, so I'll leave a link in here for that. As well, if anyone has any topics they'd like to see Roundtable in future weeks, can you please comment below or drop a message. Other than that, thank you very much everyone for coming. Hope you have a great week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, man. See you later, guys. Stay safe.